Hello class, my name is Kimberly Stern, and today I'm going to be discussing the triceps brachii and the biceps brachii. Out of a lot of the different muscles in the body, these are two muscles that pretty much everyone is aware of, but I'm going to go more in depth on the different movements and the insertion and origin of these muscles. So as you can see here, for the biceps brachii, the origin of the long head, well, actually, let me start with the long head and the short head. This is the long head of the biceps brachii, and this is the short head of the biceps brachii. So the origin of the long head is at the supraglenoid tubercle of the scapula. So that is right here. Okay. The origin of the short head of the biceps brachii is the coracoid process. You see that little process right there. And the insertion of the biceps brachii is at the radial tuberosity in this area. Okay, so the triceps, think of tri-3. So there's three heads. There's the long head, there's the short head, and the medial head. So the origin of the long head is the infraglenoid tubercle, and you can see the arrow pointing to the infraglenoid tubercle. And the origin of the lateral head is the posterior humerus, okay? And the insertion of the biceps brachii is at the olecranon process. Okay, so let me come to the next point. So the way that the origin is related to the movement of the muscle. So the origin is the fixed site of attachment for the muscle. And while the insertion moves with contraction, right? So the action or movement of a muscle can be described relative to the joint or the body part moved. Okay, so the origin at the scapula and the insertion into the radius of the biceps brachii means that it can act both on the shoulder joint and at the elbow joint. Okay, so these muscles can span two joints, the elbow and the shoulder, because that's where their insertion is. Hence, they can produce movements in both joints. As for the triceps brachii, so the elbow joint, let me demonstrate the extension of the elbow joint. So this would be the flexion. Extension would be bringing it back to the anatomical position. This is flexion of the forearm. The triceps brachii works on the extension of the triceps brachii. The extension of the shoulder joint. So this would be the flexion of the shoulder joint, and this would be the extension of the shoulder joint. See, bringing it back to anatomical position. Hyperextension. Extension would be right here. And that is the job of the triceps brachii. So to demonstrate the movement of the biceps brachii, so right here, the biceps brachii would work on forearm flexion. So here's your forearm. This would be flexion, okay? Anatomical position, flexion, as well as supination, right? So supination of the forearm, this would be supinated. This would be pronated, and this would be supinated. So the biceps brachii works on supinating the forearm, okay? So the biceps brachii works across three joints, and it's able to generate movements in the glenohumeral, the elbow, and the radio-ulnar joints, okay? I hope that this video was educational and clear, and